I want to talk about shading and highlights. So what I've got going on right here is a very simple, basic makeup look. So I have foundation, I've powdered, and put some mascara on and just done my eyebrows. I don't have anything on my lips yet, but I'm going to show you why in a while. So the kind of brushes that are good for shading and highlights are these kinds. These are a smaller version of regular powder brush. So you can see this one's a little bit bigger, and then this one is angled, and this is a regular one. But if you only have a regular one, that works fine too. The products that I'm using are in here. These are all by Might, which is the brand that my school has. So I'm going to be using this one for highlights, which is a high shimmer light pink, and I'm going to be using this one for shading, which is a cool soft brown. So this one has shimmer and this one does not. So the darker one is obviously for shading and this is for highlights. You don't have to use these specific kind of products that are made for highlights and shading. You can actually use regular eyeshadows, but for the highlights it's actually a good idea to use something with shimmer in it, because if it's matte, it works with matte too, but it just shows up a lot better when you use highlights. Now the point of using highlights is to lift and sculpt certain areas of your face, and the point of shading is to press certain parts back. Now if we're going to talk about desirable face shapes, if there's such a thing, an oval face is like the thing you want to achieve if you care about that kind of stuff. I actually have an oval face to start with, but that does not mean that I don't want to highlight and shade some of my features. Now you use shading and highlights to sculpt your face. If you have a really round face, you might want to make it look more narrow. If your face is really square, then you might want to make it rounder, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of different face shapes. So I'm going to start with the shading actually. So I'm picking up the brown, which is called cedarwood, and I'm going to use this on the areas that I want to push back. It's going to create a shadow on my face. If you do lines vertically, like really vertical, your face is going to look harsher. You always do shading this way when you do shading for a male model or just a man. And if you want your face to look slimmer, then you just angle it more. You can't go like straight like this, but you can go from here and then up, if that makes sense. So if you want your face to look rounder, then just go ahead and tilt it up a bit. And if you want your face to look more square, then go ahead and do as straight lines as possible. So I got some product on the brush here, and I'm going to start just below my cheekbone. And I'm doing it in this angle, as you can see. The angle is up to you. If you're doing this for a night look, like going clubbing, you can actually put on quite a lot, because dark lights tend to sort of hide the makeup really. So the other cheek. Right, got my cheekbones. If I also want to shade the jawline, then I'm going, well, just over the jaw. Oops. I can also do a little bit on my temples. Just a little bit across the forehead. If you want to do shading on the smaller areas of your face, such as your nose, you should probably use a smaller brush, otherwise you probably cover more than you want. So I'm using this horseshoe shaped smaller brush and just going like this, sort of at the top of the nose and into the eyebrow. Like so. You can obviously shade wherever you want. If you have a bit of a double chin though, like I do, be careful to shade under here, because believe it or not, it's going to make it pop out a bit more than you probably want. So I think that's I'm happy with that shading. I'm changing into the angled brush and going into the pink. Now the pink is being placed in between these two lines right here. Then I'm putting it onto the actual brow bone. To the brow bone, just underneath my eyebrow. If you read a search in aids, when you start getting wrinkles around your eyes, which I have because I'm 31, be careful not to use too much shimmer product around the eye because it will eventually end up in your wrinkles looking like a really bad crease. So just be careful with that. If you're young and fresh, then go ahead and do that if you want to. I'm taking out a smaller brush again, and I'm going down the center of my nose, which will make it look a little slimmer. I'm not saying that I need it, but just want to show you guys. And then just taking that up a bit into the forehead. If you have pretty dry matte skin, it's a good idea to use highlights. Not all over, but just on those places that, because it'll give a bit of shine. Hoping the camera picks this up. I'm also putting a little bit onto my chin and just a little bit slightly below where I put this shading right here. The last place I'm going to use this is on my upper lip. I have a pretty thin upper lip, and in order to make that look a little bit thicker, you can just highlight your top lip. If you're wearing something with a lot of cleavage, I'm wearing pajamas, and you want to show like your brow bones, then you can go ahead and highlight those. You can obviously shade here too if you really want to break them out. And you can go anywhere, like down your neck or into this little thingy. If you got big boobs and you want to show off your cleavage, then just go ahead and put some of this in between. If you're doing a bare shoulder, it's nice to go ahead and just do this as well. Let me just show you that with the shading too. So going on the inner and outer side of where I just highlighted. Can you see how that just lifted? Going up a bit here. So just play around with it, see what you like for your face. And the reason I kept the lip gloss for last was because I put some highlighting on my lip and I don't want to get lip gloss on my brush. I'm using a high shimmer light pink gloss. And there you go. And also, if you're doing a really simple makeup like I'm doing today, you don't want to go ahead and use eyeshadow, you can put a little bit of highlight in the inner corner of your eye. You can go all over your lid, obviously, if you want to. But just a little bit in the inner corner works too. So this was just a quick video to show you the positives of shading and highlighting. As you can see, it's not radical, but it's still quite the difference. This is what I looked like before, and this is what I look like now. So guys, before I say thanks and bye for this time, I wanted to let you know that I'm thinking about doing a sort of beauty Q&A video, talk about some tips and tricks, like products that I like to do, stuff like that. So if you want me to do that kind of video and you have specific questions, product knowledge, or what works best for my shape or whatever, can you pop the questions below in this video, and I will gather them together and make a video out of it. Well, that was it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just pop those below as well, and I will see you next time. Bye!